Hey, yo, what's good? What's good? Hit that thumbs up button, man. Wow. Now, look, I was going to put the disclaimer out there or whatever. You want to call me full of shit? Call me full of shit. Now, I don't fuck with Vladimir at all. But if you do have somebody that is interesting enough, I might hit the play button. It gets recommended a lot. So the Young Buck interviews have become a thing on the Vlad channel for about a week now. And I'm starting to think, was this a good thing for him to do? I don't think it was. Now, a lot of people were like, well, I'm captivated. Buck showed me a new Buck. I never thought. There's a lot of people that know a lot of the stuff that he was talking about. But Buck, like I've always called him out for over the years, he always want to point the finger and blame everybody for his own problems. It's never his fault. He never takes responsibility for anything. You know, it was Juvie's fault he was left in Cali. It was 50's fault this happened. Now, you didn't pay your taxes, it was 50's fault. Okay. You didn't do this. Who told you to stab that dude at the award show? Who told you? I mean, you go on and on, but he always got somebody to blame. So then the last clip comes out, and then the first thing recommended when I get on my damn YouTube, it just got Buck in the thumbnail, looking like this. And Vlad in the title, Buck speaks on transgender allegations. I said, oh shit, this is what everybody wanted to hear. Let's be honest. This is what you came for. Now, this is what I say is Vladimir is a journalist and why I don't respect him and why I think he does no justice for black artists. I don't think even Breakfast Club would have took it there and would have brought that up out of respect. You know, I don't think Big Boy's Neighborhood would have did that. Ricky Smiley, I could name a bunch of black hip hop platforms, whether they're black owned or not, with black hosts, who would have, left that alone. It's the obvious elephant in the room, but I mean, cause let's be honest, Vlad didn't bring Buck up there to talk about his new mixtape, or whatever he's cooking up with DJ Paul. You brought him up there because you wanted to see what that was about. So I'm watching this clip, and Buck is talking in circles. You know what I mean? Buck is doing the Indy 500. He's just lapping in circles because when the video first came out like 2 years ago, and it was supposed to be him in the room sitting down or whatever next to the tranny, Buck was saying that wasn't him. Now in this interview, he's saying, "Damn, that is me." So he admits that was him in the video 3 years later. But he's saying now that he was catfished. So, like I said, his story's changed like 3 times in the last 2-3 years. Because at first it wasn't him. The money gonna be there. You heard him on the phone with the tranny. The tranny was telling him up front, first of all, the tranny was calling him David, his government name. When you listen to that conversation, that don't sound like a man talking to somebody, a stranger for the first time that he don't know. That sounded like 2 people who have known each other very well for a while that are in some kind of relationship, bro. That sounded like a couple argument. The money gonna be there, bullets is gonna start flying, all of that. So like I said, the first story was that wasn't him. Then you heard him talking about the money gonna be there. And then the second story was, he got catfished. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, and then the dagger is when he says, yeah, that wasn't me. But if it was me, then that's just how it is, how I'm living, and then fuck you. I'm like, okay, now that was the honest Buck right there. That was the first thing he said that whole interview where I thoroughly believed him. I said, yeah, that's what it is, bro. This wasn't no typical allegation like some he said, she said. Like Kanye and Kim Kardashian got a divorce, and there's rumors about Kanye and that Jeffree Star thing. There's no proof of any of that though. But with Buck, there's audio, there's video, it's like, bro, the proof is in the pudding. No Bill Cosby, and no one wants it to be true. I didn't want it to be true either. And Vlad didn't even get into the whole Twitter thing when Buck got caught liking gay porn on Twitter. He didn't even get it on that. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, I just didn't, I don't think that was a good a good decision. I don't think that was a good choice. If I was Bucks manager, I'd have been like, no, bro, you sure you want to do that? You know what Vlad is going to do. He's going to butter it up and then back you into the corner like a boxer late in the game, round 10, 12, and then he's going to come at you. And that's what Vlad did. You know, now if you put that video, if they chop him up into like 7 pieces. If you watch the whole thing in its entirety, it's a smooth interview. It's all chucks and laughs and giggles, and then at the end, it's like, okay, let's get down to the main event, the nitty fucking gritty. You know, Buck embarrassed himself on Vlad's show. He just flat out did. And I think the more Buck talks about that situation, the less. The more difficult it is for people to forget about it. Because he ain't the first celebrity to get allegations like this. He's the only one that actually keeps on bringing it up. And he keeps on getting himself caught up in these situations where he has to talk about it. You know, I could name dozens of other celebrities that had allegations similar to this, but they never spoke on it. They went and did interviews. It was clear up front, disclaimer, don't ask me about that. I just think Bucks handled this whole situation as goofy as he possibly could. Just it's a travesty. You know what I'm saying? Any young person in the game, please don't handle your problems like David Brown, Young Buck did, and definitely don't go up to Vlad, you know, to try to clear your name with the public, you know, because this was kind of like Buck's version of clearing his name with the public. A lot of people wanted to know these questions after the last couple of years, and this was his, I guess, like his coming clean interview or whatever. But he could have did better, man. You could just tell when someone's lying. If you watch that and you can't tell he was lying, you just got a terrible judgment of character. Don't get married. You shouldn't have friends. You should just stay home and be stupid. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, do I really care about what Young Buck does? No. You know, I was still a fan for years. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But it was funny. The interview, I mean, the phone call, it was funny. I'm not gonna lie. The money gonna be there. It was hilarious. You know? And the fact that he just will not, no matter what evidence comes out, whatever, red-handed, he just will not fold. When people screenshotted him liking that stuff on Twitter, this moron just went and unliked every single piece of porn that he liked, and then and just acting like no, nothing ain't happened. Ain't nothing, that was nothing. Like nothing happened. Like people don't got screenshots. Yo, he is a fool, man. But yeah, I don't think that interview was that interview did more for Vlad than it did for Buck. You know, I don't think that interview helped Buck at all. You know, some people are like, yeah, well, I respect Buck more now because you got more in-depth information with a lot of stuff from back then, but you got it from one person's side of the story. It's 3 sides of the story, right? You got it from one side, you know, but people tend to believe based off opinion on who they like, whose story is real and whose story is not. But like I said, Buck always just tried to make it seem like it was everybody's fault but his own. But just like I say, that tranny situation, he couldn't blame that on 50. You couldn't blame that on Juvie. You couldn't blame that on anybody, bro. That was all you, sir. But let me know what y'all think if y'all did watch it. If not, I completely understand because, I mean, Vlad's a sucker. I just couldn't help myself. I had to check that part out. I was like, yo, this is the thumbnail alone, bro. I was like, he looked like he was coming clean. Like he was about to do a testimony or something in court. I was like, yo, Vladimir, he set him up. It was like Chris Paul setting up DeAndre Jordan for an alley-oop when he was with the Clippers. It was a perfect play, perfect setup, man. He played Young Buck.